I do believe it's sponsored by Squarespace.
I'm just on a giant hill in my town called Sisbury Ring, which is like used to be an old Viking fort, I think. I don't know, or a Saxon, I don't know, it's one of those. And yeah, I just thought I'd film my episode out here because it's probably about as cold as it is in my workshop anyway. And I have no idea why my hair's gone like that, but it has. And in fact, this is actually a little inside secret into Bill's channel here. This is a wig I wear when I go outside, so I don't get recognised. I wish it was that interesting. So what am I going to tell you? What am I going to tell you about YouTube that you don't already know? Well, I've been doing it for 5 years, apparently. I've been doing it for 5 years, half a decade. And I've got like nearly 200,000 subscribers, which is, you know, pretty good. Considering only 1% of all YouTubers have 100,000 subs, that's pretty good, I think. Or is it? Well, that's what I'm going to get into. Being a YouTuber, I hate that word, YouTuber. Content creator is even worse. Like a video creator for an online platform, doing that for a job. It's kind of good and it's kind of bad. And I want to tell you why. This is like a Bill's Bits episode. And it's just turned 2026, so I figured, you know, let's start the year fresh. I mean, 5 years of doing the same thing. It wouldn't hurt to change it up a little bit, but we could talk about that in a bit. Now, I'm no expert at YouTube. I'm no Mr. Beast, but you know, I don't follow the trends and make clickbaity thumbnails unless I made one for this video. It's quite possible. It's quite hard not to, really, isn't it, for something like this? I don't really play the YouTube game very well, so I'm not really going to be talking about that. This could be more about my own personal experiences on YouTube and this job. And, you know, my life while I've been doing this for 5 years. And for the casual viewer out there, there'll probably be a few little tips in there how to create a mediocre channel like mine. The reason why I come up here really was because, well, you can see the whole town from here, basically, from there to there. And the population of this town is a little bit less than the amount of subscribers I have on this channel. Visual representation of the amount of people that have enjoyed my channel at some point. You know, it makes me feel good. You got to make yourself feel good once in a while, even if your thing is pretending to be depressed all the time. There's a lot to get through, to be honest, and it's freezing cold up here. So I might just go and do this back in my living room. I did plan to do the whole episode up here, but I think I'll be dead. I think I would die, and I'll just be another Viking ghost, and there's horse everywhere. So like I said, up on that hill, I've been doing this for 5 years. 5 years full time, and only this. You know, a lot of people that do YouTube, they normally have like another job or a real job. You know, I never had that, and not because I arrogantly thought, you know, I'm just going to make it on YouTube. I'm going to jump in there. It's because I couldn't find a normal job. I couldn't get one. The pandemic happened. I had a video production job, and that job just crumbled because of the pandemic. It was a lot of traveling around the world, and obviously, you know, the one thing you couldn't really do was travel during the pandemic. So that job finished. I was kind of desperate because I just had a son and yeah, needed to make money. I started YouTube because I was desperate. 5 years later, and it's supporting my family. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. How much money do you make on YouTube, Bill? It's not much. I've been speaking to people with just pretty normal jobs and they make about the same as me. But let's break it down. So you have your YouTube ad revenue, which is dog. It's absolute. If you have a certain amount of views, certain amount of watch time, you make ad revenue. And that's not much. Unless you have a video that has millions of views and people are watching it for like 20 minutes plus, you're not really going to make any money. Not really. But that's ad revenue. Ad revenue on YouTube is notoriously dog. So I'm going to talk about the other ways. Now, there's sponsorships. You'll see sponsorships in videos and you probably think, oh, here we go, a sponsorship. I used to be like that. I used to hate seeing sponsored segments in videos. I've been working with Squarespace for years now. They've sponsored nearly all of my videos. I'm very lucky. That gives me a little bit of regular money. That's the thing with this kind of job. You don't really get a regular wage. You can't really plan for the future, and you know, you kind of have to worry every month whether you're going to make the amount of money you need. Which is why sponsorships are good. If you can get a regular sponsor like me, you're very lucky. I mean, I don't charge them a lot for a segment because I've worked with them so long. I don't want to go out there and look for other sponsors. I don't want to spend like hours just communicating back and forth saying we like this, and I'm like, no, I can't do that. Oh, but we like you to do this as well. And I'm like, no, Squarespace, just leave me to do what I want. And there's been no drama with the company, you know, as far as I know, unlike a lot of the other sponsors you get out there, like that Scottish estate thing where you could be a lord. That was a scam. There was that Temu thing, Temu slave labor. There's lots of questionable companies out there. And I think Squarespace seem harmless. It's a place where you make websites. I mean, what else can I do?
Well, this episode is sponsored by, you guessed it, it's Squarespace. Squarespace is a really useful site to make websites. It's a site where you make websites. And if you're always hesitant about making a website, go to Squarespace, and it is just really easy. Say you want to make a website about, I don't know, for example, a pickle. You want to make a website about pickles. We'll go to this template. There's already pickles on there. You just move them around. You change the text, change the font, do whatever you want. It's drag and drop. It's really easy. I even made this website here. This is thegutterlands.com. This is my website where I put all of my builds, stories about my builds, and links to the videos. And look at that. I made a pretty nice website. It's so easy to do. If you would like to make a website, there's a link down below. You get 10% off using the code billmakingstuff. Goodbye.
So there we go. We got ad revenue. We got sponsorship money and Patreon. Patreon makes up the bulk of my wage every month. They're really the ones that keep the lights on. They're the ones that keep you going, really. They're like friends that are just going to keep you going because they like what you do. If YouTube shut down tomorrow, I would just make videos for my Patreon supporters. Basically, it's that. It's ad revenue, Patreon, and sponsorships. And I managed to make an average wage. I don't even know if it's average. It might even be below average now, which I then have to pay tax out of because I'm a sole trader. I don't work for a company or anything like that. I have to pay my own tax. And I'm pretty sure I get taxed in America and the UK because I'm pretty sure YouTube taxes your income in America. Whatever. I don't question it. I just pay the tax and get on with it because I just don't have the time. Luckily, I don't spend a lot of money on things because I'm not a big clothes person. I don't really go out with friends, play games on Steam, which I wait for the big summer sale and then buy the games then. And I don't go out and buy Warhammer. That's the big one. That's the big saver. I don't know how you people go out there and do it. Now that's basically how you make your money on YouTube. Now some videos you can make can do really badly. Some videos can do really well and they can make you lots more money, but it goes up and down. And that's why we have YouTube Studio. It's an app on your phone, or you go to the actual browser and you can check the stats of your videos. You can check if your videos are doing. You know what? I'm just going to show you. So this is YouTube Studio. This is basically the app where you check your YouTube performance. You check how your videos are doing. If you're a person who makes videos for YouTube, you probably have this open constantly. Or you're sitting on your phone looking at it constantly. And I'm the same. I have it open on here most of the time. Usually I'm over there playing with the kids while this is open. I just keep checking it once in a while. But just for those of you who don't know how this works and what most people who make videos on YouTube do with most of their life, I'll show you. So here we go. This is the YouTube Studio channel dashboard. Basically, it shows you your latest video. My latest video was that I made a zine video. It tells you some stats about that. It tells you how many subscribers you got at the moment, how many you made in the last 28 days, how many views you've had, watch time, estimated revenue, which, I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed to show you that, but it's £771 estimated. That's estimated. I probably won't even make that. My top videos in the last 48 hours. That's your dashboard, basically. But what I'm interested in is how well my latest video is doing. So if I go over here, you see this ranking by views. It's 1 out of 10. Now what YouTube does is it would take your new video and it will compare it to the last 10 videos on your channel and put it in this ranking system. Like, this is doing better than the last 10 videos that I've released. And then if we actually click on it, we can see some more details. We can see that this grey line here is the average views I would get on a video. And the blue line here is the actual views I got, which is way above the grey line, and it's still going up. It's going up 26% more than usual, which is pretty good. It's been watched 43,000 times, watched for 10,000 hours. I got nearly 600 subscribers from it, and I made a whole whopping £348 from it. But anyway, that is a good video. That's a nice result for me. Now, if we look back here, we go to a video that didn't do so well, like this one. This is my toxic forest video where I made some terrain for a toxic forest. A terrain video, basically. And here's the average grey line. And it's way below, all the way. Look, you see these little grey arrows? That's bad. See, and there we go. That's what most people who make videos for YouTube look at all day long, instead of their own children and loved ones. And then what else was there? So would I recommend YouTube as a career? I have to think about that one. Well, let's look at the good, shall we? So like, you can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money if you're Mr. Beast or like Mark Rober or someone like that. But as we established, you can make a comfortable living from it. But then you can get that from like a normal job. It's nice having lots of people enjoy what you do, having lots of people say nice things in the comments, having patrons who like you so much they want to give you money every month to carry on. That's nice. That is nice, especially for someone like me with a little bit of imposter syndrome, a little bit of low self-esteem. It's kind of nice to hear stuff like that. And you're probably thinking I might get recognised in the street, which I tell you what, I've done this for 5 years. I've been recognised 4 times. Should have been 5. 4 times. Once in a restaurant, once in Cornwall on holiday, once in some National Trust garden. Those in the canteen. They didn't charge me for lunch. That was really nice of them. And once in a craft market in my local town. So that's 4 times. 1 time was someone putting up alongside Dan Does, who is my twin brother, who also has a YouTube channel, and saying, "Hey Bill, I really like your channel." And then he had to explain that he wasn't Bill, he was Dan Does. So that would have been 5, which is absolutely fine. You know, I'm not a pop star, but I'm just trying to express how just being moderately successful on YouTube does not make you famous in any way. I mean, now conventions, that's a different thing. Conventions, people come to conventions to meet you. Conventions are my favourite days of the year. Better than Christmas for me. Don't tell my kids that. Is it hard work? I'm not building a house. I'm not laying bricks or, picking up bins on a route. But it's hard in the fact that I have to constantly think up ideas and make that thing from scratch, film that thing from scratch, make the music, do the voiceover, edit the thing. The amount of hours that go into making a video, it's longer than that bin route. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot of work. And obviously I'm doing my hobby. It should be fun, right? I'm doing the things that I would like to do in my spare time. But turn the lights on and a camera and meticulously film every single second of you crafting something. I love crafting things, just not when I'm filming it. It's hard to explain. I mean, to be honest, this kind of job may not exist in the future anyway. There'll be AI channels with AI presenters, AI, everything will be AI. I mean, I think the only one saving grace that I make things and I'm in the videos and, I actually make physical things like, I actually make physical things that that actually exists in real life. That's a bit of a saving grace for this channel, I think. And, there's AI art, but I think people are going to want to see art made by people. It's very loosely kind of like when 3D printers came along and they ruined all of the crafting videos. I know what you're thinking. Here we go, Bill again, bashing 3D printing. Look, 3D printing is amazing. It is an amazing technology. I'm not denying that. And I think 3D printing is a good thing. I just don't want to see every crafting video on YouTube be someone pressing a button on a 3D printer. That's all I'm saying. I like to see creativity and inventiveness. Was that the good or the bad? I'll say another good thing is that I get to work when I want and my life is pretty flexible around my kids and my family. I don't have to get a train into London and work for 8 hours a day and get a 2-hour train back. I can just literally get my kids to school, work, pick them up, done. That's pretty good. And if I didn't have kids, I'd make videos till 4 in the morning. But another glaring bad thing is you're a public figure in a public spotlight. You can say something that you don't mean at all, and someone can misconstrue it, or someone can take it, spin it, make it sound like you're the worst person in the world. I've had this a few times. I think I'm considered a bit of a bully on YouTube. I don't know why. I think it's maybe because I make fun of video. I do make fun of some other videos sometimes. It's just my cynical sense of humor. It's kind of the way I was raised. I've stopped doing it now. I'll give you an example, okay? I'm not going to mention names. Whenever someone comments on my videos, I read the comment and I always heart the comment to show that I've read it. So I'm there in bed, hearting comments, not really reading the last one. Just put my phone down, go to sleep, wake up the next day. Apparently I've hearted a comment that was really mean to some other creator, which I didn't agree with. I didn't agree with that comment. I just didn't bloody read it. I didn't read it. Stupidly, I didn't read it. I hearted it. And then there we go. That comment has my stamp of approval, I deleted it immediately. But luckily, we've got these valiant people online that can just screenshot that and post it up online for everyone to see. So everyone can tell you how much of a bad person you are. What times we live in. So would I recommend YouTube as a career? No. No, probably not. But if you have an overwhelming passion to make stuff and no one out there wants to pay you to do it, then try YouTube. But anyway, that's kind of what it's like to be a YouTuber. In my experience, anyway. I hope you got something from this. I quite like sharing. I'm a bit of an oversharer. You probably noticed. So I quite enjoy doing stuff like this. But the big question is, do I keep making just tabletop stuff? Or should I do more of the arts and crafts, the art attack, making zines, painting my own deck of cards, teaching you painting and illustration techniques, things like that, rather than just making robots all the time? I'll keep making robots, don't worry, but I want to mix it up a little bit. It's 2026. I don't know, I can't just keep doing the same thing. But you let me know down below in the comments. And there is one more thing. Oh, yeah. So you heard me earlier talking about Patreon, how Patreon is the main way this channel keeps going. And it's true. Well, last episode I made a zine and I thought this would be a cool thing to give my patrons every month or so, a little Gutland zine. And I made this one on that episode, which is available to download on Patreon. But then, you know, I enjoyed making this so much. I went and made another one over Christmas. And I'll post this up on Patreon as soon as this video goes live. And you can print it out, do what you want with it. Read it, wipe your bum with it. I don't know. But I do enjoy doing that. So I'm going to try and keep that up for you patrons because, like I said, this is basically all for you. But there we go. I think that's enough of me waffling about YouTube. I probably should make something now. I'll see you next time, hopefully. Bye.